What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Scale News Update. If you're not familiar with the show, this is where we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the past week. If you enjoy the Scale News Update, hit the like button. Let's jump into this week's topics. First for this week, Team Associated released a new version of their Apex 2, this one with a Hunicorn on top. They, not so long ago, released the Huna truck, and now they're following it up with the Hunicorn. Looks like underneath this is the exact same tub chassis brushed RTR that they had the Huna truck placed on top of. This is the livery that was used on the last season of the Hunicorn vs. the World video series that Hoonigan did on YouTube. Again, pretty basic street basher. This would go up against something like the Kyosho Phaser, detailed bodies on top of pretty standard RTR platforms. This one again, $395 for the Hunicorn, which is a little less than $10 more than the Huna truck. Is a little high for a brushed RTR, but it's got the Hoonigan name, super recognizable with a pretty good looking body on top. So some of that cost has got to come from that alone, but good looking new release. Check that out. If you're interested in picking one up, you can find it linked in the description below. Next, for you owners of the Vanquish VS410 Phoenix Portal, there's now a machined gear option available for that VFD Twin. The VFD Twin is a transmission that has a selectable overdrive, so you can run a low percentage while driving around or switch into a much higher percentage of overdrive while trying to do more technical items. It also has a dig. Now, this is machined gear set that fills the transfer case itself. So handle more power, more bashing, whatever you want to do. This would be the gear set for that. Also available is the front two gears in the transmission. Those are available separately in case you just want to upgrade the transfer case ones and you don't necessarily think you need the front two gears. I'll link both sets of gears though in the description below as well. And then J Concepts releases another monster truck body. This is another Bigfoot, but it's the 85 or 92 version of the Bigfoot. Looks like you're actually able to kind of set it up whichever way you prefer. Comes with the decals for either front end and tailgates setup. So depending on which one you're trying to replicate, it appears that that's what this one will do. Technically, it's called the 85/92 Ford Bigfoot Ranger body. It says on the website 9.5-inch wheelbase, which I feel like has to be wrong. Maybe it's not, I don't know. If you've got a Stampede though, or a Rival MT, it'll fit that, is what they say. Speaking of things to make fun of, CEN Racing F450 SD Super Duty American Force 2.0 edition. This was just released, or actually coming soon, it shows, and they've updated a few things here, including aluminum 90mm shocks. They've done the bed texturing, which is what they did on the KG1 edition, and they've changed the paint, and then now you can get gold wheels. But most importantly, now you can get chrome gold wheels. Sold. Love to see it. Going bold. These F450s, so much more popular than I ever would have imagined. But people freaking love these things. And how can you hate gold wheels? This week, I want to thank The Ridge again for sponsoring the Scale News Update, and specifically the new Ridge key case. I've switched to this not too long ago and really enjoy being a little bit more compact with my keys in my pocket. I found myself that I was carrying a bunch of keys that I didn't even know what they went to. So took the opportunity to slim down to only what I needed. I haven't needed the others since. This is the burnt titanium version of the key case and matches right along with my burnt titanium Ridge wallet. I like to match. But they also make these in the forged ember to go along with that style if you prefer, or you can get these in a ton of different versions. Anodized aluminum, a bunch of special ones. Check out their website. I've linked it in the description below. And if you use code Harley10, you can save yourself 10%. So click the link in the description below. Thanks again to Ridge Wallet for sponsoring this week of the Scale News Update. This week, RC 4-Wheel Drive released this new rear roll bar for the C2X truck. That was a truck they released a couple years back. That was kind of competition class 2 aimed, is how it was marketed at least. It had an interesting rear bed setup on that truck, kind of a machined Delrin multi-piece deal that was kind of like a flatbed, but this piece is made to mount right on there and actually looks pretty good in their product photos. A little bit of a different style. For any of you that are C2X owners out there and you still have that stock bed on there, think this is worth checking out. I think they did a pretty good job with what this one looks like. This week, Tamiya released the announce of the 2021 Ford Bronco body set to be available on its own. Part number is going to be 51687, and it's going to be available towards the end of August. So you have a little while to wait, but it is going to come out. Great looking body set. If you're not necessarily looking to own a CC02, this thing's a solid little addition if you want to build something short wheelbase. Highly recommend it. Good looking, just like a ton of Tamiya's bodies. I'll remind you here on the Scale News Update once it finally hits shelves as well. Another new product that I just ran across is from RC Dream, and this is the Wilderness Defender RD110-4N. Super catchy. But this is a topless Land Rover Defender style body with a full depth interior that's separate pieces, opening hood and doors. Also shows a upper like safari rack that goes on this as well. Not sure how it's going to be sold, if it's going to be one complete kit or you're going to buy the individual items to put this all together. In their product photos though, they show this basically dropping right onto a TRX4 platform. Now this is a hard body, so note that it is different than the Defender you can already get on a TRX4. But from what it shows, it's going to be able to drop on and just kind of like clip into place. So you're going to have a full depth interior with obviously the hard body, the interior is hard molded plastic. I assume that the safari cage that they show going over the top will also be molded plastic. The details right now, not super clear to me because the only release information that I've found for this has been on some of the Chinese websites and the translation been a little bit poor. I can't find any listings for this brand, that model number or anything on any US sites. So I do assume that we will see this migrate our way. We're probably just gonna have to wait until we see it pop up on one of the popular retail sites that ships from overseas. But if you're really digging it, you may be able to find a way to get it early, get it over here, beat your friends to it if you or one of them really likes Defenders. Furytek is jumping into the 1/10th scale motor and ESC game. They announced the new Furytek Lizard 10 Lite. Brushless ESC, you can get this with or without a Bluetooth module, just like their 1/24 scale options. Now, you can also get this with or without a machined aluminum case. So they're offering this in a bunch of different ways. The Furytek interface with the Bluetooth is nice on the 1/24 scale stuff. I have enjoyed that. Having a Bluetooth interface available on an ESC out of the box is something that I would like to see be much more standard. Hobbywing has been doing it for a while in some of their systems, and it's one of those features that I do really enjoy. This ESC is 2 to 4S LiPo compatible, 60 amp continuous rated up to 100 amp burst. It does say that it has some FOC technology. Furytek has obviously been pushing hard in the 1/24 scale scene. Getting into the 1/10 scale makes a lot of sense. We'll see how this one does. It's just starting to hit the market now, starting to see some videos pop up on it. The full spec ESC, Bluetooth, and aluminum case gonna run you about 130 bucks. So it's hitting toe to toe on price range of some of the upper end ESCs. So it's gonna have to stack up to them to really dethrone some of the old standbys. And to go right along with that new ESC, they also released a brushless Outrunner for the 10th scale stuff. It's a 2815 brushless motor. They offer it in either a 2000 or 2500 kV options. These are pretty standard Outrunner motors. They've got the very distinct Furytek style to them with the red base and the black spinning can with a lot of remachining done on them. Beyond that, look pretty standard as far as an Outrunner goes. If you want to see more information or put your pre-order in, you can find links to the Furytek website in the description below. Speaking of new motors and ESCs, HK Hobbies also recently released new motors. This is another Outrunner as well, 2814 sized, nice, compact. Again, this is kind of in the same punching range as far as motors go. This is an 1850 kV specifically, but at a pretty low price point. And they're pairing these specifically with the STFU Am32 controllers. Am32 is a pretty popular controller, I think mainly coming from the quadcopter side, but this says it comes with a custom Am32 firmware on board to try and work specifically well in these type of applications. We're seeing more and more of these become available. This one, super tiny and compact. Recently picked up one of these setups to test out myself as well. And the size is shockingly small. Also, the price on these controllers is also low. 65 bucks for this ESC in comparison is specifically where some of that value comes in. If you've never checked out the HK Hobbies website, definitely worth going and browsing. They've got motors, ESCs, servos, and such. So check that out if you want a little bit more info on something that's fairly affordable. As of the time this video goes live, Axialfest is only going to be 2 days away, and I haven't done any of the prep that I had planned on getting done. So still gonna have to get working on that. Hopefully some of you are going to start your treks out this way soon. Looking forward to hanging out, seeing people, having fun up on the hill there at Rob's Resort. A couple of days ago, Axialfest did a live feed from the resort itself, and I believe they're going to have another one possibly tomorrow, which will be Wednesday, if you're watching this the day that it comes out. If you're on your way to the event, go back, watch that live feed. There's some good information in there, like no cell phone service, which is a big one. Maybe let some people know you may not be in a ton of communication. There's some other good information in there as well. Hope to see some of you up there. If you're gonna make it, let me know down below. This week's episode of Flip That Truck is late. Busy weekend, busy times, busy week coming up, and maybe I'll still get it done. I already filmed most of the episodes, so hopefully I can get that edited and uploaded before Axialfest, because that's obviously going to take me out for a few days. Livestream Takeover is still going to happen as always though. 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Check in with Matt and I as we talk about all of the most recent developments in the scale world of RC. Friday Night Live though, most likely not going to happen. There's a chance that it could, but most likely it won't. We'll see. Just leaving that asterisk up there for the moment. But that's going to do it for this week's news topics. For this week's question segment, last week we discussed what you were doing with RCs specifically during all this heat. And still, it's about all I can think of is how freaking hot out it is. But for this week's question, I want to know, what was the last new RC item you were excited about? Doesn't have to be a new release, but just what was the item you were most excited about? Whether it was just something new to you that you saw and got excited about, or something that you recently purchased and were just excited to have and play with, or an actual new release, maybe that you don't really even plan to buy. Let me know. Put it in the comments below. I love reading the comments. My favorite part of the Scale News Update every week. But with that, I appreciate you guys watching this show every Tuesday. As always, if you enjoyed the Scale News, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notification bell so you can see the videos as soon as they get uploaded. Once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.